Do you have what it takes?
You've got her here. She's why they came.
You can't outrun destiny just because you're terrified of it. It's coming.
Find Geralt of Rivia.
I can't do this without you.
No matter what you choose, you'll come out bloody.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. There was just a big Comic-Con panel in London earlier today where they showed off a bunch of new Witcher footage, so I'll break that down. Really good news, too. We also have a much better lock on what the actual release date for the series is going to be. So if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Witcher videos. I'll be doing episode videos and Easter eggs when it gets here. We'll find some cool Witcher-themed giveaway to do for merch or something for the Witcher episode videos that I'll do. So at London MCM Comic-Con, they screened a couple new Witcher clips that they have not released publicly yet. So the first clip shows Yennefer eulogizing a dead baby. We know she'll try to save the baby and her mother, Queen Calis of Lyria, that she's been traveling with. That's what this scene from the last trailer is for, with all these dead bodies in the circle around this wagon. They've been traveling in a wagon together. They get attacked by an unknown mage. We see them teleport across a bunch of different destinations, but Yennefer is unsuccessful in evading the sorcerer. It's actually what this fight is here, with her in this desert-looking background behind her. She's fighting the mage that's coming for Queen Calis and her baby. All of Yennefer's efforts are in vain, as both Queen Calis and her baby don't survive the encounter. Then in the sky, a bird starts circling around the two of them, the two sorcerers, as they're having their gunslinger standoff moment, and the scene cuts to Yennefer sitting at a beach wearing her black outfit with her hair all messed up from the fight. As the camera cuts to the actual dead baby itself, she looks up at the bird and says, "Which one of us are you here for?" She starts speaking to the baby and says, "I'm sorry you didn't have a life, but truth be told, you're not missing much." The camera cuts back to Yennefer. "I know it's easy for me to say with warm breath in my lungs, and you with nothing. Still, what would you have had? Parents? Well, they're the ones who wrote your last act, so not much lost there. Friends? Most likely fair weather. Lovers? Fun for a bit, I'll admit, but will eventually disappoint." If you haven't played the games or read the books, I'll explain why Yennefer seems so pessimistic about life itself. So music starts softly playing, and then she goes on to say, "And let's face it, you're a girl. Your mother was right about one thing. We're just vessels, and even when we're told we're special, as I was, as you would have been, we're still just vessels for them to take and take until we're empty and alone. So count yourself lucky. You cheated the game and won without even knowing it. Sleep well." The music swells up, and then she starts to bury the baby, and the scene cuts out to another scene, completely different scene, of Ciri meeting a character named Dara, who is not a book character. This scene comes before Ciri winds up with the Dryads in Brokilon after she's trying to escape Sintra, so the timeline of the books is going to be a little bit different from the timeline of the show because they condensed a bunch of stuff. The way that Freya Allen described this character at the Comic-Con panel, because he's not an original book character, is that he's this main source for her different perspective and viewpoint and vital to keeping her going early on. They make a good team, but they're from completely different backgrounds, and it just meant to sort of get her ready for her encounter with Geralt, because they're also kind of at odds when they first run into each other until Geralt realizes how important she is. So they're using it as a way to introduce non-book readers to Ciri, because you learn a lot more about her character during these scenes, what her personality is like before you get all the Geralt scenes. So that when they're together and when she's with the Dryads, you don't have to spend all this extra time explaining who her character is. But it picks up with Ciri in the snowy forest scene here. We actually seen shots of this that they've released recently. She's looking all battered with visible scratches on her face, dirty hair, the music's playing behind her. She approaches a bush of berries, holding out a hand to pick one. Something gets thrown at her hand, and she picks up a stick and gasps, "Who's there?" Then the Dara character appears from behind a tree. He's wearing a coat and a hat. "Stop right there," he says. He motions for her not to eat the berries. She says, "You mean they're poison?" Then Dara signals for her to follow, and we see a rat. Ciri is still holding the stick. She says, "Oh no, thank you. I don't eat rat." Dara shrugs as if to leave. She says, "Wait, don't go." The scene cuts to a shot of a fire with a roasted rat, then Dara eating it. Ciri asks him, "Where in Sintra did you live? Where are your parents? Why don't you talk? I haven't spoken to anyone in 3 days. Guess we're all on the run. I'm supposed to be going towards someone, but instead I'm running from someone else. He has this big bird on his head. I don't even know what he wants from me. We should smother the fire. I can't be caught by him. I can't. Dara offers her what's left of the rat. Ciri accepts. Cut to them wandering through the woods. They're freezing. Ciri gives Dara one of her gloves, then sees a flag. She says, look, it's a Cintran flag. Come on, we're saved. Then Ciri starts running towards the flag. When she turns to check on Dara, the boy is gone completely. She asks, Rat boy, where did you go? Then we cut to a shot of the next scene right after this of Jaskier singing. This whole scene of Ciri trying to escape something she talks about 2 men that she's trying to get away from is probably from Sword of Destiny when she's actually trying to escape an arranged marriage. She takes off out of Cintra and winds up in the forest of Brokilon where the Dryads live, and that's how she winds up running into Geralt for the first time. All this footage of her talking to the Dryads here, that's from that moment there, where she's forced to choose between a life with Geralt or a life with the Dryads, because the Dryads want her for her secret power too, because she has the Elder blood. They recognize how special she is. This is also around the time where Geralt realizes that she's the child of surprise of Duny and Pavetta, her 2 parents. Duny actually shows up in the trailer. He's the one with the head that looks kind of like a hedgehog in all these big fight scenes in the throne room in Cintra, so these might be in flashbacks. It's not really clear how they're going to deal with flashbacks or how linear the story is going to be told, because a lot of the material from The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, the first 2 books of short stories that Season 1 is going to borrow from, take place in a bunch of different times, like they jump around in time as Geralt is remembering these events. Also really cool at the convention, they had this installation with one of the monsters that shows up during the trailer. We got a little more information about it. It's actually a Kikamore, which is from the game itself. It's basically a giant spider with a human-like looking head. They each have this social structure amongst them. You find a lot of them in the swamps, which is why you see Geralt fighting one in a swamp during the trailer. The scene of Yennefer also kind of tees up the idea that she and Geralt eventually become the mother and father figures to Ciri. She eventually gives all of her motherly love to Ciri once they're all together. Part of Yennefer's sacrifice in becoming a sorceress, attaining that power, is becoming barren, but also Geralt, in taking all of his Witcher potions, becoming a Witcher originally, made him barren too, so neither one of them can actually have children themselves, so Ciri is sort of their adoptive child. We also haven't gotten any scenes of Yennefer actually meeting Geralt for the first time, but they did say that they would sort of come together on parallel storylines by the end of the first season. That's the story of The Last Wish. It actually involves a genie of all things. You have to imagine that there's all kinds of different magical creatures in the world of the Witcher books. Dandelion and Geralt are fishing. Dandelion pulls a jar out of the stream, realizes there's a genie in it, and unwittingly releases it. The genie attacks him. Geralt goes to the nearest town to get help for him, and Yennefer just happens to be there. She agrees to help them, but decides that she wants the genie's wish for herself. While she's busy fighting the genie, trying to contain him, the town starts being destroyed. Geralt realizes the genie's too powerful for her, goes to help her, and tries to persuade her to let it go, because she wants his wish so badly. But then Geralt realizes that he's holding the jar to seal the genie, and knows that he's the one really controlling him, so he uses his final wish to save Yennefer and bind their fates together forever. So the title of the book and the short story, The Last Wish, is the story of how their fates became intertwined. He uses the genie's last wish to save her. Since we haven't seen the episodes yet, we don't know exactly how faithful these moments are going to be to the book moments, but the showrunner did say that they sort of rearranged a couple things to make the story a little more linear and easier to follow. Because like I said, most of these early short stories just jump around all over the place in time and aren't really that connected. As for the actual release date, there was a contest at MCM Comic-Con and a banner that seemingly confirmed the leak from earlier this year. Earlier this year, the Netflix Netherlands Twitter account accidentally posted the release date of a bunch of different titles in December. It listed The Witcher was coming out the week of December 17th, the week right before Christmas, but then Netflix came out and said, no, this isn't accurate. Months went by without any updates. Then just this weekend at London MCM Comic-Con, there's a banner for a contest to win tickets to The Witcher premiere, and guess what day it's on? So it seemingly confirms that leak that it's going to be dropping that week. Most of the time Netflix drops episodes on Fridays, but there are some weeks where they'll drop it on an off day, and because this is so close to the holidays at the end of the year, it seems like that's what they're going to do. So I will be doing bonus videos. There's going to be another really big trailer that they'll drop next weekend, so of course I'll do a video for that too. But if you have any big questions or bonus videos for the Witcher series that you want me to do, just let me know in the comments. Everyone, click here for my Easter eggs from that last big Witcher trailer, and click here for all my Easter eggs from the new Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.